Welcome to my 13-day Halloween countdown. Day 10.
Bonjour, messieurs and mademoiselles. I don't know if I've said that right because I can't speak French, but welcome to my vlog. It is day 10 of the 13-day Halloween countdown. And today I've got day 10 of the spooky calendar to do. I've also been I'm going to talk today about a subject that's getting worse and worse and worse. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You can find out in a bit if you stay that long with the vlog. And I've also got a poem as well, so a bit of all sorts today. I've not been doing a lot today. It's been a quiet day. Just been doing a little bit of another jigsaw I'm doing at the moment, which is a Eurographics jigsaw, and it basically shows all different coffees and how to make them. So that's what I've been doing today. I will get on to my day 10 of the Halloween spooky countdown calendar. Here we go, folks. Spooky countdown calendar. Day 10 we are on. Goes quick when you start doing one of these things, doesn't it? There we go. If you remember, yesterday's was Annabelle, a creepy doll. Like I say, if you ever get a chance to watch that film, you won't watch it. I had a comment actually underneath my vlog because of my comment I made yesterday about the fact that Japanese horrors are better than American horrors because of the stuff that's in them. And somebody actually agreed with me, and they said they preferred the Japanese horrors as well because they are really creepy and they do creep you out, I tell you. Day 10, wallop. Trusty scissors. Cut that off. Yeah. Let's see who we're going to have today. See if I recognise it. Oh yeah. I don't know what he's called. I just call him Plant. It's out the little shop of horrors. I'm pretty sure of that. Hang on, I'll do it there. You might be able to see it better. Is it Seymour? No, it's not Seymour, is it? I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's the Plant out of shop of horrors. My wife's going to fall in love with that. She's going to want that. I can guarantee that. Look at the detail on that. But yeah, can you see it? It's good, isn't it? Oh dear me, that's made me giggle. That has. Yes, so that's day 10 of the spooky 13-day countdown calendar. Oh dear me. Excuse me, I'm still chortling about that. I can't believe that was in the calendar, actually. I never expected that, I must admit. 13-day horror calendar, you don't expect something like that. And even though technically it is horror, I suppose. But obviously it's from Little Shop of Horrors. Now, obviously there's been a couple of makes of that. A very, very early version, years and years ago. And the colour version, which a lot of people... the modern colour version, which is cool as well. So, right, today, let me just tell you first of all a story. Not a story exactly. I'll explain. It has been revealed that by wearing a face mask you can get cancer because of something that's on the face mask. Some sort of thing that's on it is going to give people cancer. Now this is something that's been verified by a person who's an expert in this sort of thing, and it's something that was brought to my attention today. And that's where I'll stop there for a second, just to say, isn't that a load of rubbish? Isn't that a load of garbage? Now, this is what I wanted to talk about today, fake news. Now, if you are suffering with anxiety or depression, or you are one of these people who've got really, really bad mood swings, and you come across a story that's been verified by somebody that says that you can get cancer from wearing a mask, and just let's say you spent the last 6 months wearing a mask, if you are of a mind that you will believe it, then you will believe it. Because if somebody tells you something, why are you going to think that it isn't true? Now, if you read something on the internet that then gets shared by hundreds of thousands of people, why are you going to think it isn't true? The problem you've got with fake news is people don't realise the damage it can do. Now, I know a few people who I've seen on the internet who, I can't say gullible because I don't like saying that word because it makes them sound stupid, and they're not. They are quite willing to be open-minded about things. So when somebody puts something like that, it could easily send them over the edge. I could imagine somebody who was a depressive taking their life after reading that because of thinking, well, I've been wearing a mask for 6 months, I'm going to get cancer, I don't want to get cancer, I'm going to end it now. The problem, again, is people now on social media have got this ability to take a story and exaggerate it and multiply that exaggeration so that by the time it reaches you, it's already been exaggerated 50 times. I did a prime example a few months back. I said that how people see things and how they're reported. You could imagine being in, say, a chip shop. You're in a chip shop and you're in a queue. And all of a sudden the bloke gets given his chips, but he drops one on the floor. And he goes bend down to pick it up. Now that's what happened. But by the time the story's on the internet, it's man throws chips on floor after having row with chip shop owner, fight ensues, chip pan sets on fire, lots of people injured and hurt in the scuffle. Do you get me? This is how easily it can happen. And I see it on a daily basis. Some of the news stories I read, I don't believe them, obviously, but I am open-minded, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these people who just goes, oh, that's a load of crap. If it was proved, and there was evidence, as in proper evidence, not just a Facebook story, because despite what people think, I know I'm going to upset a lot of people here, but Facebook doesn't always have the truth on it. There are a lot of people out there who thrive on making people believe their lies. They get a kick out of it. It's just like having scam phone calls telling you that your BT internet, like today I had a phone call saying my BT internet was going to be disconnected. Well, that's not bad, seems I'm not on BT. But there are people who get their kicks from this and who want to make money out of this. So you just imagine you're a YouTuber and you think, how am I going to get hits on my vlog? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make up a story. I'm going to make up a story so ridiculously fantastic that somebody will believe it. Now all it takes is you put that out there on Facebook and say 10,000 people see it, but only 100 believe it. Those 100 then pass it on and they put it on their Facebook feeds, and then that gets seen by another 10,000 by each of them. So before you know it, this post has been seen 1 million times, and it's been shared about 100,000 times as well. And people are going, oh, hang on, there must be truth in that. There must be truth, otherwise why would people share it? Well, people share it because it's on Facebook. It's that simple. People share it because it's on Facebook. I don't think any story that I read on the internet is truthful until I've been and checked it. Like the worst ones are when you see people putting such and such has died. And you think, oh no, wow, RIP and all that. And for a while I used to do that. I used to put, oh, RIP, sorry to read about this, and etc., etc. And then you go onto the internet and go from one of the news feeds, like Google search or something like that, or BBC News, and all of a sudden you'll think, well, hang on, if he's died, why isn't it on the main news? What's going on here? So you type it in on Google, and all of a sudden it comes up, such and such says he is upset to find out that he died. I think the prime one was, I think it was John Cleese. People said that he died, and he actually posted a tweet saying, I'm very, very sorry to hear that I've died. Nobody told me. And people get the kicks out of this. Now, of course, you think if you've got that on your YouTube channel, or your vlog post or whatever, all of a sudden you've got 5,000 hits on that, or 10,000 hits on that, just because it's such a fantastic story that people are going to believe it. I think it's disgusting. I really do. I think it's disgusting because don't get me wrong, some fake news is funny. Some of it's really, really stupid. Like, I remember years ago there was a newspaper called The Sport, and that was basically like Facebook now, if you like. You used to get ridiculous stories on there, like Lancaster bomber found on the moon. And what you'd have is you'd have a picture of the moon, and then somebody had drawn a little tiny Lancaster bomber in silhouette form on the moon. And some people would fall for this. Now, obviously, a lot of people treated it like what it was, which was a load of garbage, just entertainment. But you've got conspiracy theories who believe that. They'd say, hang on, yeah, that must be true, that, right? I'm sending that through to my circles. You know, the same kind of people that think we're all aliens and the Prime Minister is really King Zod from planet Uranus or whatever. You know, mind you, he has been a bit of an anus, but we'll leave that one. And you think about how many stories you read on the internet. What I would advise you to do, this is just me speaking, is make sure it's true before you share it. Don't think that because it's on Facebook it's got to be true. Even if it does say, I don't know, written by Dr. such and such, anybody can make that up. I could say my name's Dr. Jason Cotton. I've got a PhD in economics and physiology. I ain't, but I can make it up. And that's what people do on the internet. If you can make up a story, you can certainly make up a name and a life. I mean, I've heard stories where people have been talking to somebody for ages, got on really, really well with them. They'd given their life story, basically. They got to know each other over a certain amount of time. And then they'd found out that this was a complete fabrication and this person was not what they'd been describing. They weren't nothing to do with what they said they did for a job. Now, many moons ago, I had a friend called Michael, and he was rich. He was really rich. His dad owned, I think it was Paverways Construction Company, I think he owned, the ones that did all the grand hotels or something like that anyway. And one day I'd been to his house, and it was absolutely gigantic, this house was. And he said to me, was I doing anything at the weekend? And I said, well, I'm not doing anything. Why? He said, do you want to come to a wedding? I thought, bloody hell, why? He said, well, just as my guest, do you want to come, like? And I went, yeah, go on then, I'll come along. I said, but I haven't got a suit. He said, it's all right, we'll sort that out. And he sorted me out a suit, got me a suit, nice one. And I went there, and I've never felt so out of place in my life, but I didn't want people to see I was out of place. So I had all these, I saw all these young girls. I mean, I've only been about 17, 18, don't get me wrong, you know, I was only young myself. And these young girls, 18, 19 years old, like, and they were coming up to Michael and they were all hanging off his arms and everything. And then they come up to me and they said, what do you do? I said, well, at the moment, I'm a junior computer software engineer for the big IBM firms. I said, I design all the software, what they use on the throughout the network. I said, it's my job. And they said, oh, that's wonderful and all this. And they said, what's that worth, sort of thing? I said, about 170,000 a year. And they were all impressed and everything. And they were all around me and hanging off my arms and everything. And they were, on about where's your car and all that. And I said, well, I didn't bring it because I didn't know whether I'd be able to get back home. Anyway, you're not going to, bring a Mercedes here, are you, really? And they were really, really impressed with me, I tell you. And then Michael saw what was going on, and he came over to me, and he waited till they dispersed, and he was laughing, and he said, what on earth have you just done? I said, well, I just got a bit fed up of it. It was all this, oh, you're, and oh, no. And Michael wasn't like that, even though his family were quite rich and, a bit stuck up like. But he was sound as a pound. I got on great with him. And he didn't like it either. And I said, well, I've just told him what for. He says, well, what did you do? I said, I told him what I did for a living. He says, what, you told him you were on a YTS? I said, no. I said, I told him I was a software engineer for IBM. And he absolutely burst out laughing. But I pulled the wool over their eyes. When I left that place, mate, they didn't even know. I had 3 phone numbers off them. Oh, phone me when you want to see him. No, if you want to see me anytime, just phone me. Because they thought I was loaded and I got bloody millions in the bank. But that's how easy it is. And if I could do it then, and I'm talking when I was, 7? I was about, I will be honest, I was about 18, 19. And I just couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, how superficial can you be? And now I think that's what people have used the internet for. They create false personas. They create false stories and legacies. They want people to think there's something they're not. I'll tell you something, I don't. What you see is what you get, mate. I tell it like it is. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly the background I've come from. I didn't come from any money or nothing like that. I haven't got any money or nothing like that. I'm just an average guy who basically has gone through a lot in his life and come out the other side still smiling. And I don't pretend, oh, I've won the lottery or I've done this or I've done this to impress people or to make people think I'm better than I am, because I'm not. I'm a self-published author. I don't say, oh, yes, I'm a published author, Penguin Books took my books, yes, and Chaucer Press as well, they do. I don't do all that, but I can do it. Anybody can do it. I can do the old posh accent, talking like that, making yourself sound really, really up class when you're not. But I don't see the point. The only time I do that is when I'm entertaining people and making them laugh. But I just don't understand this fascination with fake news and why you would get a kick out of it, because when you think of the harm that that can do, I mean, all it takes is, if I'm not mistaken, this was a story that was in the actual papers about a woman who'd been told on Facebook that her husband had been killed in a crash. And she was worried, scared, out of her mind, because this seemed to be a genuine message from somebody. What she didn't know was that her account had been hacked. Sorry, this other person's account had been hacked, and somebody was sending these messages to everybody on the contact list. Now, obviously, let's say they sent it to 50 people, and only 20 of them had husbands, and only 50, say 10 of them drove. You've still got 10 women thinking that their husbands are dead. And they did it for a laugh. They got caught, don't get me wrong, they did get caught, but they said they did it for a laugh. What's a laugh? You telling people that their relatives have died and making them believe they've died, making children believe that the parents are no longer there, and you find that a laugh? I'm missing something, because I find a laugh things that like practical jokes, as in practical jokes like what we used to do when we were kids, you know, where you would like kneel down behind somebody and then somebody would push them and you fall backwards over you. But you'd usually make sure you were on grass at the time. You wouldn't do it on concrete. You know, you wouldn't do it like they do now, because I heard a while ago that one of the things what kids are doing nowadays, they do this thing called, I think it's called the head slam or something. And what you do is you stand and two of your friends are either side of you and each of them kicks one of your legs from underneath you, and it's the impact of how hard your head hits the floor is what gets the biggest laugh. Where do you go from that, really? Where do you go from that? Where does society go from that? Bear in mind, this is the same generation that was drinking Tide Pods not long ago. And I think a lot of fake news is spread so that people can get their little bit of fame, a little bit of notoriety. You know, they can suddenly say, I started that. I made everybody believe that. Now, I had a friend years ago, Ian Burgess, and he played this trick, and it was really, really clever trick, actually. It was really funny. And all he did was, we were walking through Hanley Town Centre, and it was very, very busy, and he said, do me a favour. He said, just stop still and look straight up. So what for? He said, go on, just do it. So we both stopped dead, and we just looked straight up into the sky. And I looked out the corner of my eye, and all of a sudden, the bloke started doing the same thing. He was looking up in the sky as well. And before we knew it, there must have been 20 or 30 people staring up into the sky, wondering what we were looking at. And all we did was just put his heads down and walked off and laughed into it. And I thought that was dead funny. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, because all these people basically had seen us looking up into the sky and thought, well, they must be looking at something, and decided that we must have, and that's a bit like the fake news thing. By the time we walked away, they wouldn't have known who started that in the first place. So they'd have all just been standing there like a load of chumps. But I just thought, you know, these days, when people are very vulnerable, because obviously we've been in lockdown for a while now, there's a lot of people who suffer with anxiety and depression, so they don't need to be made a fool of, and they don't need to have any more bad news thrown at them. So when you start spreading stories, after the government's told you to wear a face mask, and they start spreading stories saying, yeah, but face masks cause cancer. Well, according to Facebook and a lot of the other social media sites, everything causes cancer. If you have too much drinking water, it causes cancer. They linked it to beef and bacon, not so long, beef and beef steaks and stuff like that, saying it can give you heart disease and this can cause this and this can cause this. Well, Deb, who's a vegetarian, almost vegan, but she's vegetarian, and she thought this was quite funny and used to laugh at me because of the things it used to say, and she used to say, oh, I'm so glad I'm a vegetarian. And then all of a sudden, one day, there was a news story that said eating broccoli could give you cancer. Well, of course, that was my turn laugh then, wasn't it? Because I knew it was a load of garbage, because, no offence, but people have been eating broccoli for years. You know, some people love it, some people absolutely hate it. I don't mind it, think it's alright, it's not a bad veg. But to say that it causes, and I thought, well, obviously they must have thought the vegetarians were getting an easy deal, so let's put the frighteners up them for a bit. And I think that's what happens every so often. I don't know whether it's government controlled or conspiracy theories controlled or whatever, but every so often somebody will put out a scare story. I seem to remember we've had giant bees coming, We've had an infestation of ladybirds that aren't normal ladybirds, and they cause a lot of problems with your breathing and stuff like that. If they actually bite you, they've got special coloured wings or something or other. We've also had killer hornets that were supposed to be coming across here, certain spiders that were going to be deadly and stuff like this. We've had the threat of bird flu that was going to wipe out somewhat of the equivalent of Scotland, but in England. You know, and I think every so often they chuck out these conspiracy theories so that people will just go, yeah, I'm sharing that. And before you know it, everybody's forgotten about the problems and the bigger problems in society because they're focusing too much on the crap that they've read on social media. And that's what gets me. That's what gets me. How easy it is to manipulate people, and people want to manipulate people. They don't want to give them an easy ride. They want to say, well, hang on a minute, I'm going to make sure that you regret, you know, turning on your TV today, or turning on your computer today, or your phone, because I'll give you a story that'll scare the life out of you, and I'll make you believe it's true. Anyway, I've had a bit of a rant and a bit of a rave, and what it was supposed to be about was fake news, and it ended up being fake news and other stuff. So, I'm now going to do a poem to finish off. So, you all take care, and I'll do day 11 tomorrow. Remember what day 10 is? Still makes me laugh, I'm sorry, it's still making me laugh. Plant. I have the little sharper orders, even his little stand, look, even his little base. How cool is that? It's my favourite one so far, that. Anyway, you all take care. I'm going to do a poem. Bye for now. Now, this poem isn't really linked to today's topic. It's linked to yesterday's topic. You know, the one about judging people. The other day's topic about judging people, and don't always think that what you see is what's there, because your eyes can be very deceptive. And this poem is just simply called Every. Every face that you see has its own tale to tell. Each person has their own history. Just because you see them smile, it does not mean they are happy. Just because their head is down, it does not mean they are sad. If you see them dressed differently, do not assume that they are bad. If they walk with a limping gait, it does not mean that they are drunk. When you see a person laughing to themselves, why presume that they are mad? We're all individuals and all do different things. Everyone is different and yet similar. You cannot know what pain someone is suffering if on the outside they are smiling. People can smile, laugh, talk, cry. Do not assume that you know why. And that's called Every. And again, that was one I wrote last year. I got through quite a lot of poems last year. I must admit, I wrote a good 15 or 20 last year. Some years I write a lot and some years I don't. But that's my vlog for today. So remember, still got that plant. I'm still looking at that plant. It keeps making me giggle every time I look at it. Feed me, Seymour. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm miles away. Yeah, you all take care, and I'll do another vlog tomorrow. I should have stopped laughing by then, you never know. Bye for now.